Japanese and English.
Yeah. Alrighty, and we're off. So,
Nice.
they're already on a world record pace. Check it out. Hey. Sorry, I just like to make that joke a little bit. But yeah, so one thing to note about this game is that there are a large number of cutscenes. All of them can be, well, not all of them, I shouldn't say that. Most of them can be skipped, though, and so you have to kind of be button mashing during some of these cutscenes, trying to get the fast skip off as soon as you possibly can. But they're just starting off in the Cap Kingdom, where they're about to befriend Cappy, which is the main mechanic of this game, is being able to throw your cap and do all kinds of different platforming feats with it. You can throw your cap, bounce off of it, throw your cap to redirect yourself in midair. It's a great platforming tool to be able to just kind of have more movement options and maneuver yourself in whatever direction you choose. So a lot of great stuff we're going to be seeing from these runners here in a bit. And it's just about even as they pull up the bridge.
Yeah, they're probably gonna be neck and neck going into Cascade.
Yeah, there's not a huge amount of strats for this first kingdom. It's just get through as fast as you possibly can. And this is the only kingdom, really, aside from maybe the Moon Kingdom at the very end, where it's based on just literally get to the end of a sequence of platforms. Most of the other kingdoms will see Mario collecting not stars this time, but moons. And you need a certain number of moons to advance from kingdom to kingdom. So you might need 10 moons in one kingdom and then 8 in the next. But you have to meet that number, that whatever it is, to advance to the next kingdom. So they'll be trying to collect moons as fast as possible and skip through all the cutscenes if they can, and just get to the next kingdom until the very end. So there's this one boss fight at the end of the Cat Kingdom that they do have to deal with, and there are some fast strats here. Both of them nail the jump, the cycle skip here, the fast cycle this guy. Dang, that is close.
Someone said a weird bonk there going up to the tower. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, that curved little staircase, it's not a staircase, but the curved hill up is a little odd sometimes. But yeah, so that's the first kingdom in Super Mario Odyssey. Again, welcome everybody. This is Speed Gaming 2 on Twitch.tv. I'm Okra Armband, and we have Jock MS here.
Yo.
All right, so this is the first actual kingdom, actual quote unquote, of the run. And there is a boss fight here. Again, it's about collecting moons, right? So we would need to collect 5 moons to progress. But defeating this boss gives you 3 moons at once. So it's generally what runners will want to go for, is the pretty standard route now. And someone in chat's already ahead of me here. The boss fight is at the top of the level, normally you would have to maneuver, jump, platform through the level to get to the top. But it is actually possible to capture, because that is one of the main mechanics, using your cap to take over an enemy. You can capture a dinosaur and play as a dinosaur, jump off a trampoline, and just jump over and above, I don't know, 2/3 of the level or something. So you just skip all of it and you go straight to the boss fight.
Yeah, the cutscene trigger extends onto the ledge there, so you'll see in a moment here how it works.
So here Kerbis is already taking control of the dino. So break these blocks here so you can activate the little trampoline to launch you up into the air just like that and activate the cutscene. There you go. Now he's in the first boss fight. Tones is not going to be far behind him. Nice. So there is, again, a way to fast cycle this boss. It is a little tricky, though, because you have to anticipate, like Kerbis just did, exactly where Madame Brutal is going to throw her golden chain chomp here. Tones gets it off as well. Oh man, these guys are nailing it. This is amazing.
Really good.
Woo. Dang. All right, we got some fast boss fights going on. This is a close race so far. These guys know what they're doing in the early game. Yeah, so Kerbis is a little bit ahead of Tones right now, but this kind of small lead at this point in the game is, I'm going to say, nearly meaningless in a race like this because there are so many points for so many different things can happen. It's never, oh, well, he got a 10-second lead, GG. Yeah, that'll never happen here.
Yeah, I can go back and forth in every kingdom at every minute in the race.
But yeah, like I said, they do need to collect 5 total moons to advance. So they have 4 right now. Kerbis just collected his 5th. This is generally agreed to be the fastest moon to get right after the boss fight. And then you can put them into the Odyssey, the name of your ship here, and advance to the next kingdom. So we're going to see Kerbis activating the Sand Kingdom and Tones right behind him, right on his tail. And the Sand Kingdom is where things start to get a little hairy. There are tons of different routes that have been revised and discussed, and community's been working through just so many different routes for the sand, and so many people have chosen to stick with one route that they like, or try to get the most recent, hardest strats. But Sand Kingdom is usually in a race like this where you might see runners deviate, they choose different routes, try to get different moons to try to finish the kingdom the fastest. And one of the points that matters is coins. So you want to talk about coins some, Jock?
Yeah, we need 200 coins to buy 2 moons in Wooded and Snow Kingdom later on. So they're probably going into the Sphinx to collect those coins.
Yeah, so if you don't get the Sphinx, go into the Sphinx room to get all those basically free coins, you might end up, I'm a few coins short here, and you have to adjust your route later on, and it can get a little bit dicey depending on, how well you play according to the route you've chosen. Oh no! Kerbis wanted to get the early bird right in the town, but he missed it. He actually captured the electrical wire, so he has to go into the pipe first. He could try to get the bird right after Tones is successful in getting the early bird. Kerbis can get the bird right here, or he can try to get it later on in the Oasis, depending on what fits his route best. Looks like he's going for the bird here. Oh, he hits it. Can he get the moon? Oh, it's close. Not quite. And Kerbis gets the moon. There it is.
It looked like it was going into the pipe, but messed up and then saw the bird and tried to get it early.
Yeah. So it looks like they're just about tied up there. That the delay that Kerbis had trying to get the moon from the bird allowed Tones to catch up some, gain some ground. But yeah, again, like I said, the movement options here are just so crazy with the ability to throw your cap and jump off of it and go all over the place. So, that moon is generally not meant, quote unquote, to be it's obtained until later, but because of some slick platforming, both our runners are able to get it. And their routes are actually identical right now. So I'm curious to see if they're going to do the exact same thing here. I know I saw Tones practicing a Sphinx clip earlier, trying to flip into the wall, but Sphinx, I don't know if he's going to get it. Oh, he fails the jump there. That's a little rough.
See if Kerbis can get the manipulation on the ball pin here. Yep. Very nice.
Yeah, so he's able to get the bullet bill to home in on him and follow just the right path so he can get that moon and ride the bullet bill all the way over to this pillar. That's very nicely done by Kerbis. I don't know if Tones is going to go for the same route. Yeah, but since he didn't get the bullet bill, he has to just wait for the next one. Usually takes about 5 seconds between. It's on a cycle, but he does have to wait, so that's a little unfortunate. So right as soon as Tones gains some ground, he loses it. It's a little unfortunate.
Yeah. Might catch up if he gets the Sphinx clip first try.
Yeah, Kerbis not even going for the Sphinx clip, just going for the shifting sands first.
Maybe he's doing the pipe clip.
Yeah, he could be. He's going to go for the clip? No, he's just going straight out the pipe. Oh, and here's Tones going for that Sphinx clip. The save's about 7. Oh, he gets it the first try.
Wow,
Oh my
very
goodness,
nice.
that's amazing. Yep, so he's going to clip into the wall, get this moon, clip back through the wall, and go into the loading zone for the Sphinx room. That's amazing. And he'll be not...
a lot of time.
Plus, he gets all these coins, which, like we said before, are important for those 2 moons you want to buy. You need 200 coins total in the route for the game, so that's really, really impressive. So Kerbis is not going to get the Sphinx coins, but he's going to get some coins in the second treasure chest here. It's not quite the same amount, but it is a decent... Oh, he did not throw his hat there. Okay. He turned around a little quick there. But yeah, so it looks like Kerbis is physically ahead of where Tones wants to be, but Tones visited the Sphinx and got that moon. So again, pretty even pace aside from Tones missing that fast bullet bill cycle earlier on.
So the major difference in this route, aside from the coins, is that Kerbis is going for this note moon, which is slower than the swings if you do the clip.
Yeah, you saw Kerbis collect a bunch of notes to activate this moon. If you can get the clip like Tones did, getting the Sphinx and the Shifting Sands is slightly faster. So hopefully that'll keep Tones a little close here, making up for that late bullet bill cycle. But yeah, I love talking about the Sand Kingdom because, again, the routes that runners choose and their execution is 100% what makes it, it's a by runner thing. You can never just say, oh, here's what's going to happen.
Yeah, definitely the most fun kingdom to call. Someone's taking a warp instead of rolling back. It's faster when you don't do the note moon.
Yeah. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Still a very close race. Could go either way right now. Kerbis is a little bit faster to get to the Lake Kingdom, but Tones will be right behind him. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure that the Lake Kingdom is, aside from the Cat Kingdom, the fastest kingdom route in the game that we have right now.
I think Lost is slightly faster, but yeah, it's one of the fastest.
Yeah, the Lost Kingdom is slightly faster time-wise, but you need a lot fewer moons here, I believe. Or is it 10 both?
It's 10 in Lost, 8 in Lake.
Yeah, so it's 8 in Lake, 10 in Lost. Pretty close. The route here is pretty darn fast, given that we're going to get 3 moons from doing a boss fight. So it's just collect the other 5 as fast as possible. And because it is a water stage, spoilers, swimming in this game is not the fastest thing. It's not the best optimal movement method if you can avoid it. So Kerbis grabbing the cheap and moving on his merry way.
Yeah, it's the fast movement in water. Unfortunate bonk there by Tones.
Yeah, that cage is a little tight. Bonks there are just gonna happen sometimes. There's not a lot you can do about it other than slowing down, which, I mean, why would we do that?
Kerbis missing the jump.
No. That actually sets him back a good bit. The normal strategy is to use the cheap to high jump out of the water, ditch the cheap and get onto that ledge. Kerbis actually doesn't make it, so he has to resort to backup strat, which is slightly slower. Allows Tones a chance to gain some ground again. Let's see if Tones can make that cheap jump as Kerbis fast cycles the boss. And he makes it. Oh, gets a little knocked up by the Goombas there, but...
Oh, jeez.
Oh!
Yeah, these enemies can bump you off.
So Kerbis just grabbing that multi-moon as Tones also fast cycles the boss. That is a nice thing about these bosses, that almost all of them can be fast cycled in one way or another. Which I think all of them can be. Yeah, all of them can be fast cycled in some way. Yeah, Kerbis putting the moons in the Odyssey so he can advance to the next kingdom, and Tones will be right behind him just as soon as this cutscene finishes. These are one of those cutscenes that you can't skip, unfortunately. So you just have to sit on your hands and wait and just, button mash to pass the time.
Yeah, it's horrible. One of the few flaws of this game.
Alrighty. Moving through the dialogue. And again, this is the thing. So the Japanese dialogue is the fastest of the tested languages, but I don't think Italian's been tested. So I'm wondering how much time Tones might lose or gain on these dialogue transitions. But Kerbis progressing right along to the Wooded Kingdom. And this is the first kingdom in which he will have to spend 100 coins to buy a moon. It's one of the fastest moons that you can get on this route. Grabbing up 2 moons beforehand.
No one is wrapping the deep woods route. It's bad, man.
Yeah, that is one of the unique things about this kingdom is that there are some endless chasms later on that you can try to jump over, and if you actually fall into them, you do not die, but you go into a different part of the level called the Deep Woods, which is underneath the rest of the level, and you cannot warp out of it. You cannot leave, and you have to find the path out of the Deep Woods. Oh, that bonk from Kerbis hurts a lot. Yeah, so they'll be trying to avoid the Deep Woods here as well. It's one of the pitfalls, no pun intended. So Tones is gonna hopefully not bonk on the waterfall that gave Kerbis some trouble there. All right, there he goes. Yeah, and so Kerbis just possessed an uproot, which is the main capture target in this kingdom. Allows you to, as you saw, go up really high. Stand on stilt legs, basically. And now Kerbis is coming up in one of the trickiest sections of this run, actually, to do optimally, which is the flooded pipe. So the goal is to get through here quickly without taking damage. It didn't quite work out for him there. And not taking damage is actually really important in this run, because every time you take damage and then you get a moon, it'll refill your health back up for you and move the health bar up to the corner again, which takes about 2 seconds. So every time you take damage means that for every moon you get, and remember there's a lot of them, there's over 100 collected in this run, you're losing 2 seconds each time.
Yeah. Tones getting through with damageless for the first moon.
And there's the second half of it, see if he can do it. Kerbis has to make the climb up now. Tones sinking a little bit to try to get through without damage, and there he goes. Well done.
Yeah.
Kerbis making the climb up this wall. Very nice. Took a little bit of damage on the way, but he got there eventually. The number of entrants to the tournament was almost 128 people, right? It was quite a few.
126, I think.
126, yeah. We're still in the group stages, so this is not necessarily an elimination match. They still have to. There are 4 people in a group. You have to be in the top 2 in your group to advance out of the group stages. So this is not an elimination match, but their time here will matter later on, as well as winning, of course.
Yeah. I think this is the first match of the group, or at least these players.
Yeah.
Maybe Kerbis has played one. I can't remember. There are so many matches.
Yeah, there's been so many matches. It's really hard to keep track of who has played and who hasn't played so far. But we'll get all the games in eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this auto-scrolling road that Kerbis is on right now is one of the pain points for some runners. They don't like to wait for this road to carry them across the chasm. So some try to skip it, don't know if Tones is going to go for it. No, he's not. Both of them are just resigning themselves to the auto-scroller bridge there. Skipping it saves about 2 seconds, I believe. And the risk is, I think it's like 2 seconds to skip the bridge if done decently well. And the risk, the punishment is death, and so you just have to start over and lose 15 seconds or however much. So it's risk versus reward thing. Neither of them chooses to go for it. It's all right.
Could have been worse. Could have fallen into deep woods.
That's true. It's falling into deep woods is really, really a run killer. I don't know if you've ever tried to salvage a run after falling to deep woods, but it doesn't work out.
Nope. I even did the theorized deep woods route, and I still lost a lot of time.
Yeah, it's really, really tough. So Kerbis facing the Spewart boss fight here is going to be his final 3 moons of the kingdom, and this can be fast cycled, just like that, jumping on the hat to stop him from spinning all over the place. Tone's going to be right behind him. But yeah, again, Kerbis making sure to collect all the coins in this boss fight, because they will matter. He does need 100 coins again later on in the run to buy another moon in a different kingdom. So making sure that he maintains that 100 coin count can be very important. I should note that every time you die, which you should avoid in the speedrun if you can, but if you die, you do lose out 10 coins immediately. So keeping and maintaining your coins is super important.
Yeah, definitely. Someone's having a kind of low coin count. We're taking the swings, so we'll see if he does the same route as Kerbis later on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's just kind of the reaching implications of whatever route you take in the Sand Kingdom, whether or not you get the Sphinx coins or not, is that you might not have noticed, but earlier on they could have chosen to go to either the Lake Kingdom or the Wooded, either the one and then do the other. Normally people go Lake and Wooded. You have a choice again later on to go either Snow Kingdom or Seaside Kingdom. And if you have plenty of coins for the purchase in Snow, there's no reason not to go to Snow immediately. But if you don't have the coins, then you want to delay it until after Seaside. So it even changes your kingdom choice later on if you don't have enough coins. So it's always, you have to be mindful of how many coins you have and where you are on the run and, all that good stuff.
The difference isn't huge. It's just the menuing.
Yeah, it is a menuing thing, but if you're mashing along, you're just like, oh, I'm good to go, and you accidentally hit Snow when you needed the coins from Seaside, you're gonna have a bad time. Yeah, this is super close so far. I'm shocked that neither one's really pulled away yet. There's so many opportunities to mess up in Wooded, I know from experience.
Oh yeah. I hate Wooded.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. What do you want to call it?
The fast cycle, yeah.
Yeah.
So Bowser has 2 or 3 actions that he does here. So he'll throw hats at you like that. You collect him and hit him with them. And then what he'll do is, if you don't get to him in time, he'll actually jump around the arena away from you and send out shockwaves and such. So right after you grab the hat, you want to be on him in time to stop him from jumping away, basically. There are other more advanced strats that involve taking damage in order to be invulnerable and abusing iframes, but it's really risky, so I don't think either of these runners is going to go for it. But they are getting the standard fast cycle strat off. And Kerbis is done. Very nice. Very well executed there.
Mm-hmm. Someone's going for the slightly safer way to get this fast cycle.
Yeah. And now Kerbis ends up in the Lost Kingdom, which is, as you said, the fastest time-wise of the kingdoms. It's just a marathon moon collection. Get as many as you possibly can, as quickly as you can. Had some routing changes here and there, but the strats are generally well understood now. I think that runners shouldn't be messing up on jumps like that, which Kerbis gets very, very nice. Sometimes getting on that tree is the hardest part of making that jump.
Yep. Hardest trick in the game is the dino skip, and then this jump, and then mecha blow.
The meme tree, yep. The meme tree itself. Both runners able to advance past the tree and get up the cliff. Kerbis grabs the butterfly, and Tones is going to be just hairs behind him. Yeah, I should talk about here as well is that so there's actually a cutscene trigger down below that they've gone in a giant circle around. Off to the right of Kerbis and to the left on Tones, on top of that staircase, is the Klepto bird who, if you walk into the cutscene zone, will steal your hat and force you to platform up and take it back. It's wasting a lot of time effectively. So the goal is to activate the bird, trigger it like that, and then never deal with it again. And avoid triggering it, so you keep your hat, you can keep going through quickly and collecting moons on your marathon.
Yeah, and going around the back like that avoids that trigger.
And then the fastest moon to get is this one that Kerbis is going to get. Now you can either die here and warp back to the Odyssey, or try to save yourself. Nah, he just lets himself die. He's not going to have any of that.
Almost taking a fall there.
Yeah, it was a little
this
unfortunate. So that miss was a little unfortunate by Tones. He had to get back up and activate that switch. Now he's going to get this moon. Now he can try to save himself here and save, I think, a second or two, or just let himself fall and die and get back to the Odyssey that way. But it is, again, important to remember that if you let yourself die there to be death warped back to the Odyssey, you do lose those 10 coins. So Tones actually doesn't have enough coins for the shop in the Snow Kingdom now, so he has to get back up to 100 coins, just like Kerbis. And now it's time for the crowning jewel of Super Mario Odyssey, the Metro Kingdom, New Donk City. There's actually a little bit of a sequence here that you have to go through. That so you can see on Kerbis' screen, it's nighttime in the Metro Kingdom right now, and so you have to go through this gauntlet of enemies and fight a boss to activate, full access to the rest of the kingdom here. And he's going to pull off a cheeky maneuver where he's going to jump off of this awning and scale this building, which is not the intended way to play in the game casually. But that skips a bunch of tanks off to the left and some pathways that just reduces your time significantly.
Very nice long jump there.
Tones coming up in the same trick, skipping a huge portion of the... Oh, misses at the first try. He's gotta go for it again. And Kerbis is going to get into the City Hall for the City Hall climb. Now, this is notorious for being one of the most difficult route optimizations here, because you need to climb as quickly as possible without falling to your death in the endless pit below. We're just taking a little different route than what I'm used to, but he gets up anyway, and he's moving right along. And at the end of this climb, you have to make a jump literally from wall to wall, from the north wall to the south wall in City Hall, which is a little spooky. You can put some monkey asses in the chat for that for sure, but by now I think these runners are practiced enough. They can get it. First try, no problem. There he goes. Well done, Kerbis. Tones is not going to be... Oh, he does drop, actually. Lands on the... Oh, no, he falls off the elevator. Tones is going to have to go through the whole City Hall climb all over again, while Kerbis is on the boss fight to end the Metro City nighttime phase. It's really unfortunate for Tones.
Gotta get that.
Not making the elevator is really, really unfortunate.
Kerbis gonna go into these spots there to manipulate the Wiggler. Oh, it seems like he was too slow on the first phase there. So the Wiggler isn't in the right place.
It is possible to two-cycle the Mecha Wiggler, but because of just the way that the tank controls and the projectiles being fired at you, and the way that Wiggler moves, and just all kinds of factors, it's most common that you'll see runners 3-cycle just because of this wonderful, wonderful fight. So a little
I guess there's
unfortunate.
2 cycle, but he needs to nail this.
Mm-hmm. Oh, very nice. I find it's better to temper your expectations and expect a 3 cycle so that you get excited when you do see a 2 cycle. You're right there with the runners like, please, please, please give me a 2 cycle on this fight. And you can get excited with them there. Kerbis finishes up the fight. Tones is in between cycles here.
Yeah, and this is the manipulation I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Cuts the travel time down between walls.
So now that Kerbis has gone through the nighttime metro sequence and defeated the Mecha Wiggler, he has access to daytime metro, where you can the whole kingdom, the whole city is your playground. You can explore and find moons as you please, and he's going to need to, because you need 20 moons total to advance. He already has 5, so he needs 15 more. And Tones finishing up the Mecha Wiggler is going to be right behind him as well. Now there are a few strats here that have been developed. I wonder if either of them is going to go for the... No, he's just going straight to the RC car. Going to manipulate the RC car, try to get the fast. Oh, it gets it. Very, very nice by Kerbis. It is possible to actually clip into that cage with a scooter and not use the RC car at all, but it looks like Kerbis is not going to go for it.
Yeah, the scooter has some weird collisions. But I don't think it's worth it to go for that. You can miss it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Oh, Kerbis fires off. I don't think he meant to go that way, but he eventually makes his way to the bench for the bench friends moon. Yep. Tones collecting in the Iron Girder, making his way to the main city shortly. Yeah, so again, it looks like Tones is not going to have as many coins as he ought to have had from doing the Sphinx. So I wonder if he's going to go Seaside first, or if he's going... There is a stack of coins that he can collect. He's having some trouble with the RC car here, actually. There is a stack of coins he can collect in Metro, but I wonder if he's going to just forego that and do Seaside ahead of Snow anyway.
Yeah, I'm betting on Seaside. No point going out of our way just to do Snow first.
Yeah. Tones fires off in the correct direction, lands on the bench. Well done. So Kerbis is going to be making the climb up to the top of this skyscraper, the tallest structure in the city, collecting this moon and diving over just further behind on the screen to the pool, grabbing the next moon. Tones is going to be warping up to that tower in just a moment as well. How does Tones have his license? That's a great question. You should ask him that. I'm curious to know. Inquiring minds want to know.
I've seen worse though. As Spike with G.
You should get Spike in here to comment on proper maneuvering. Alright, so Kerbis grabs the moon in the above the crowd, or in the crowd. He's going to get above the crowd now. Yeah, so it looks like he that fall in Metro City Hall cost Tones a good bit, but he is determined not to lose pace here. He is making sure not to pull anything too very risky here. Just getting the moons, chugging along. Well done.
Mm-hmm. Just for an example, Spike took a duff in this level yesterday, and he was still tied with Cyndaquil at the final Bowser fight.
Mm-hmm, yeah, that's... I mean, again, it might look like Kerbis is a decent bit ahead of Tones right now, but let me tell you, there are so many points in the run at which, sure, some things are riskier than others, but even just movement, I think that's one thing that, you can attribute to a lot of the differences you'll see in the races here between runners is just the quality of movement, how much wasted movement you have, how precise and, quick you are to get from one place to the other. By whatever, because again, Mario has so many different methods of travel now. that your choice at every given platform, at every jump is you have a wealth of options.
Yeah. Let me hear the magical word, chat.
There are the OTEP memes. Yep. So we're hearing audio from Tones. These musicians here have some audio actually, where they say different lines when you talk to them. So one of the memes in the community, as it were, is so that was the drummer talking to the bassist. He seems to say something that sounds like OTEP. It's just become one of the the things that the community loves to hear and repeat, and they just love it. So pressing over to the dead Wiggler, squeezing it for one last moon, and talking to the bassist for the get ready for it. OTEP. Yay! So that'll be his last moon. He's finished with the Metro Kingdom. Moving on. Kerbis is already in the Odyssey.
Yeah. I think the seaside. I think. I didn't look,
Yeah, Kerbis is on Seaside. I imagine Tones will also choose Seaside. It seems like the safer of the two options at this point.
Yeah.
Do you normally go for Seaside as well in your route?
No. I
No?
collect enough coins in swings, so...
Oh, you do the Sphinx? Okay, yeah. That's the interesting thing is, it always seems very split between runners on whether they like the Sphinx or not, and whether, as a result, they go to Snow or Seaside first, but it does make a huge difference. It's just, menuing correctly.
Mm-hmm. No, what?
Did I see
Did
that
they
right?
pick Snow?
I thought I saw that as well. We'll see in a moment. Oh, Kerbis missing the wall kick. He's gonna have to try again to get that moon. There he goes. Yeah, there's Tones in the Snow Kingdom. All right. I didn't get to look at his coins. I don't think he has 100.
74 or something?
85.
85, yeah.
Okay, he's close. He can salvage it, but he's not gonna be able to get that shot moon straight away. He's gonna have to hunt for some coins first. First, he's heading to Captain Toad. Then he'll enter the actual town of Shiveria. Yeah, that was... I wonder if that was intended or not. Because, again, there's the input, the menuing, and it doesn't actually give you a warning like, hey, you're about to choose. It gives you some text, and then immediately after, you're making your selection. So I wonder if he did mean to go to Snow, and he just acknowledged that he would have to collect some coins, or just, didn't realize how short he was. Just, he's used to having that many from the Sphinx. But either way, he's going to have to grab some coins before he can buy the shop moon. Kerbis, undeterred, just swimming along, gathering as many moons as he possibly can. He's going to come along a tunnel in a moment that'll nab him just a ton of coins, which will 100% secure him that shop moon as soon as he gets to the Snow Kingdom. Oh no, Tones didn't make the jump. He has to try again. This is the third time. The idea is to jump off the umbrella, jump off your hat, and bounce just like that. Yep. It's a little tough to make because the umbrella is a little floaty, gives you a little floaty jump, but it's a little unfortunate. It took him three attempts there. And Kerbis getting his second to last moon in the Seaside Kingdom. He's going to head down to his last one and warp back to the Odyssey and head into the Snow Kingdom himself. Tone's getting a little bit of a bonk.
Yeah, Seaside is a lot shorter than Snow.
I think it's about a minute and a half shorter, something like that.
Yeah.
So there's Kerbis finishing up the Seaside Kingdom. Tones is about halfway through his Snow. He's going to grab some coins here. Oh, there he goes. There's the 100. All right, he is good to go to get to the shop, get his moon, and be done with coins forever. He doesn't have to worry about it anymore as long as he doesn't die. That's the... Oh, this is one spine. He has to knock it off manually. Yeah, as long as he doesn't jump into the purple goo, basically, he's good to go. He has to head to the shop after this, get that moon, and never worry about coins again. And here's Kerbis transitioning through the dialogue to get to the Snow Kingdom himself. He's a decent bit ahead right now.
Yeah. Someone's
All right.
heading back.
It is a little unfortunate he has to backtrack just, 10 feet, however much it is, to get to the shop by the moon, but better he do it now than head in early without realizing it. I'm really glad he picked up on it earlier and was able to grab the coins he needed from the gust room. It's very, very nice.
Oh, talking to a wall.
It looks like Kerbis is talking to a wall, but there is actually Captain Toad behind that snow wall. He does get a moon from Captain Toad. Thanks, Captain Toad. Invisible though you may be, you are with us in our hearts.
I didn't see a Toad. What are you talking about? Oh.
Tones will be collecting the Goombas here to... You need 4 Goombas to stand on this switch in order to activate it so you can get the moon. If you have fewer than 4 Goombas, it will not work. If you stand on it yourself, it will not work. You need the Goombas. So it's really imperative that you don't drive them off the edge, you don't kill them, you keep them alive, you preserve them. It's happened a few times to some runners. Here's
I was going to stay with me there, or the pits.
Kerbis getting his shot moon. Looks like Kerbis is not too far behind Tones within the Snow Kingdom, but Tones still has to do the Seaside Kingdom altogether, so it looks like a pretty not insignificant lead for Kerbis right now. He's done his best to avoid bonking after the early kingdoms and just play as clean as he possibly can. It's going very, very well for him.
Don't die. Please.
Yeah.
Nice.
Generally, deaths are a little punishing in this game, especially in a speedrun like this where you're trying not to get the checkpoints. Don't go out of your way to get checkpoints. Don't get checkpoints. Avoid them if you can. And so if you die, you might get ported back to the beginning of the room or to your last checkpoint, which might be the Odyssey. It's really huge time waste if you die. So Tones has finished up the Snow Kingdom, and Kerbis is playing as clean as he possibly can, just making his way through the gust room. Oh, gets knocked back a little bit, but manages to stay on the platform. Very, very close. Very nice. I always worry getting blown back by the gust enemies there. They accelerate you pretty quickly.
Yeah, they can be a bit tricky.
Alright. Tones moving on to the Seaside Kingdom, and Kerbis is sort of halfway done with the Snow Kingdom, I believe. Yeah, he has 2 more rooms to do, and he'll be moving on. So Tones has to try to make his Seaside as fast as he possibly can. Avoid bonking. These 2 jumps here on this cliff side are a little tough to make consistently. He gets up the first one very nice and easy. And look at the second one, and also doesn't bonk. Very, very nice.
Yeah, it's a lot harder than it looks, especially with the ground pound.
The spacing on your inputs there has to be decently precise, or else you will bonk on that very, very high cliff. But Tones manages to do it, make it look easy. Kerbis going for the long jump, also makes it very nice. Oh, little bonk from Tones there. Let's try that jump again. Alright, Kerbis only needs 1 more moon to progress past the Snow Kingdom and move on to the Luncheon Kingdom. So he's going to be looking to go into this room and grab the fast moon on the cliff. Tones still almost halfway done with Seaside. Still needs to possess the Gushin, get to the Cheep and swim all about underwater. So he's got a little bit of the level ahead of him here.
Very nice Snow Kingdom.
Yeah, Kerbis had a little bit of a rough start early on, but he's just been breezing through these past few kingdoms, making them look like a joke. Tone's gonna be going through the tunnel, getting one more moon on the way to 2 others. And Kerbis activating the cutscene to go to the Luncheon Kingdom. That is one of the more difficult parts of looking at this run, is that, you know, when runners choose to go to different kingdoms like that, Snow and Seaside, it's hard to tell who's actually ahead of the other, but now that we see Kerbis landing in the Luncheon Kingdom, you can see that clearly got a bit of a lead for himself here.
Yeah, it's getting bigger and bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, messing up the jump.
Doesn't quite get the jump the first time. Oh, misses the cap. Yeah, this is one of the trickiest jumps in the run to make. You're not meant to go up this way normally, but you can manipulate Mario's movements to land on that wall. Very nice. It's tough to set up and nail consistently if you haven't practiced it, but I'm sure that he has.
Yeah.
And there's Tones finishing up his Seaside Kingdom, getting ahead to the Luncheon Kingdom. He's not awfully far behind, but he does have his work cut out for him.
Yeah, it looks like a minute, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Kerbis just fast cycling this boss, no problem, easy breezy.
Yeah, it's the same boss as in Warden.
Yeah, that is one of the weird things. You generally fight these bosses multiple times if you play through all the story missions, but when you refight bosses, they are more advanced. They have, you know, harder cycles to manage. You know, they're different in some way, but that boss fight is just plain identical, other than a differently shaped and sized arena. It's the same boss, does the same moves, same everything. You can fast cycle him in the same way. It's just no problem. You got the Wooded Kingdom fight, you got the Luncheon Kingdom fight, no problem.
Yeah.
So it is worth noting that in the Luncheon Kingdom, again, a bunch of moons to collect, but there is one major route difference that we're likely to see here, depending on runner's preference, is there are 2 separate rooms, in each of which you can get 2 moons. So you can choose one room, get 2 moons, choose the other room, get 2 moons. They're roughly equivalent, I believe, in speed. But one of them is, well, they have different names, right? So there's Forks, and then there's Lava Bubble, or Potaboo, as the enemy is called. We'll see some of them in a moment. So slight difference that we might see in routing here. I don't actually know how much of a difference that makes in speed is. Do we know if one's faster than the other?
I would believe the Potaboo room is slightly faster, but it's slightly harder too, so...
Yeah, I know that the Forks room is only fast if you use and abuse the motion controls to, you know, throw your cap upward and do all kinds of skips in it. So, but then, you know, you do have to not fall off of the pathways in the lava room as well. So they have their ups and downs for sure. And I think it's mostly runner's preference at this point, until further testing is done. Yeah, just moving right along, collecting all the moons they possibly can, trying to avoid bonks, avoiding falling into the lava. Yeah, this pink stuff is lava, by the way. It'll damage you if you fall into it. It is not good stuff.
Oh.
That was a little bit awkward. So Kerbis activated the moon and wanted to grab it, but actually captured the Potaboo before he managed to grab the moon. So he has to get out of the Potaboo, grab the moon, and then get back in and move on. So he's skipping the Forks room, and he's going to be grabbing the Potaboo, the lava room, later on. So I'm going to climb this cliff first, though.
Breaking the box with a homing attack, if anyone is wondering how.
Oh, yeah. So much of the functionality of this game is locked behind motion controls. Like right there, Tones threw his cap with the button, but then used motion controls to aim it downwards to activate the crate, break the crate containing the moon.
Kerbis not going for precision there, he's spamming away with the hands.
Yeah. I have not found a good way of doing that, because when you possess the, I guess they're not hammer bros, they're pan bros here. They kind of throw the pans in random directions, so you have to just kind of pray that it breaks the cheese block with the switch, the one you want.
Mm-hmm.
See if Tones goes for the fork stream, or if he's gonna follow suit with Kerbis and go for lava. And he does skip the fork stream, so he's also going to be getting Potable Room later on. Yep, and so here's the Potable Room from Kerbis. Now again, these passageways are really narrow. You have to stay on them as you possess this Potable. You can create platforms like that using the hot tomatoes, but that's it. You have to stay on the pink lava or you fall to your death. So he's going to navigate these carefully, and he does negotiate it. It's an intentional bit of damage there to get a little damage boost. Get yourself that moon. Very nice.
Yeah, didn't quite make the platform cycle there, so take the safe strat over.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's better again to, you lose 2 seconds by waiting for that damage meter to fill up when you get the moon, but that is a smaller time loss than just waiting for the platform cycle again.
Or dying.
Or yeah, that's another thing you generally want to avoid. So Kerbis' final 3 moons will be the Grand Moon up top, where on the way you actually get to become a slab of meat. Very, very interesting choice to let players do that. Thanks, Nintendo. Tones getting into the Potable Room as well. Gonna see if he can't negotiate this as well as Kerbis did. As soon as Kerbis' cutscenes finish, he's gonna end up at the Odyssey and be done with the Luncheon Kingdom, moving right along.
Tones taking it very easy here.
Mm-hmm. Not stressing, not mussing, not no fuss, Yep, going for the safe strats as well, taking damage. There you go. Yep. So Tones is almost done with Luncheon as well. Not too terribly far behind, and we're coming up on the towards the end game where things get a little hairier. A majority of the rest of the game is boss fights actually, and so trying to fast cycle all the bosses correctly without taking damage and playing as well as you can is the name of the game, and it is no small feat. Let me tell you what.
Yeah, the next boss is the dragon in the Ruined Kingdom.
Yeah, Mario's ship, the Odyssey, is intercepted on the way to Bowser's Kingdom by a big old dragon from, looks like it's straight out of Dark Souls or Skyrim, basically. It seems so out of place now that I look at it, but it's in the game, so you have to deal with it. You have got to beat this bad guy. Yep. Tones waiting through his cutscenes to be allowed to progress past Luncheon and also get to the Ruined Kingdom where the Lord of Lightning is waiting for him. Okay, so Kerbis is doing an interesting thing here. He's activating the hearts on the ground. What I think he's going to do is intentionally take damage and abuse iframes to get on top of the dragon a little early and then heal up with those hearts off the ground. I think that's what he's going to do. That's exactly what he does. Take some damage, abuses iframes, is on early. Yep. It's just about the only strat for this fight, I think.
Yeah, you can do it damageless too, if you time it perfectly. But it's hard.
Yeah, damageless on this fight is a little difficult, and if you do take damage before getting onto his head, you might be a little late to it, whereas doing this strat, you're sure to be early. Just rinsing and repeating. Nothing too fancy, keeping it simple. So it looks like they're just about on either side of this one boss fight separating them. Still a close race, I'd say. And just for reference, like I said, when you refight bosses, they'll have more phases in their cycles, or harder moves to dodge or something. In the next kingdom, we're going to refight 2 bosses before getting to the final boss. And actually, one boss in this run you don't see a first time because you skip the story mission that includes it. So you're only going to be seeing a refight and a fight you haven't seen before.
Yep.
So there's Tones going for the take damage iframes abuse as well. As Kerbis finishes putting his moons into the Odyssey, wiggling his camera around, just for the fun of it.
Tones finishing up the fight here. Very nice.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so here Kerbis arrives in Bowser's Kingdom. Now, you do have to... It's basically a long gauntlet that you have to race through as fast as possible. You do have to get the story moons here, or else you will not physically be able to progress further. Now, he's about to capture an interesting enemy. This is the Pokio, or the bird, as we like to call him. You can, as you saw, poke his beak into the wall and ascend, climb up it. That'll be really important later on in the boss fight and for progressing through the stage. But right now, Kerbis is going to take on this little mini boss here, which takes about 10 seconds to do. Kill. There you go. Grab the moon.
Still the hardest boss in the game.
Yep, so there's Tones finishing up the Ruined Kingdom, going to be entering the Bowser Kingdom just behind Kerbis. Lots of cutscene skipping, and like I said, at least they are skippable, though. That is the one saving grace of this game is, yes, there are a big number of cutscenes, but the majority of them are skippable, and so you can just button mash your way through it and move on with your life.
Yeah.
So aside from the story moons that you have to collect here in Bowser's Kingdom, there are 2 additional moons that you must collect in order to progress to the next kingdom. Now, some strats have been talked about in the community, some route alternatives depending on tech, but I think what Kerbis is going to go for here is hit this bomb into this block here, blow it up, and grab the moon in the wall as he collects the 5 pieces needed to assemble that moon. Again, Tones not far behind, finishing up that boss fight for the first story moon of the kingdom. So there's the moon from the hole in the wall, and then there's the story moon from the shards. And then there's another moon up and to the right that I think Kerbis is going to collect in just a moment as soon as he's allowed to move out of this cutscene. Yeah, they are 1 story moon apart. It's not bad at all. It could come down to the Mecha Brutal, the final boss fight in the Bowser's Kingdom stage. Because that fight is very, very easy to whiff.
Yeah, it's not easy. Oh. Alright.
Tones taking a slightly different path to getting his moon shards there. Basically get up all the same, and yeah, that's actually I haven't seen this route in a while. But now Kerbis is in between 2 boss fights, so he's gonna refight Topper, the green hat guy from all the way back at the beginning of the game, and he has many more hats now, a lot harder to fast cycle. You need to jump on his hats before they all shoot out of his circle, but it is significantly harder to jump on the correct one given how many there are, and so he's unable to fast cycle him both times. Unfortunately, Hat just has to go through the fight. Mostly normally, he does jump on him a little early there to stop him from spinning around. decent fight.
Yeah. His camera angle looked a little bit unoptimal. It was hard to tell which shot was which.
Yeah, it's just a hard fight to nail perfectly, but once you've seen it done, you know, looking at it, it looks obvious, and as you run it, it's like, oh, I should be able to do it, but actually controlling Mario to be exactly where you want to be, which, you know, you have to decide very quickly, not the easiest thing. So could have gone a lot worse for Kerbis. Could have gone a lot worse.
So this is the boss we didn't fight in Sand Kingdom. Harriet.
Harriet the Screecher. She just has a creepy laugh, man. I don't know how I feel about it.
It's...
So now Tones is coming right up on these mini boss fights here as well. And it is up to the runner's preference whether they go for Harriet first or Topper. But it looks like Tones is going to go for Harriet first instead of Topper, opposite of Kerbis. Not too worried about getting the fast. You can actually hit her bombs back at her while they're in midair, but Tones not going to worry about it. Just taking it nice and easy, nice and slow, not messing it up. Not going to worry about this fight. He does get the cancel on her, though, in midair. He's going to do it right here in a second again. She drops a bomb below her. You can hit it back up into her to cancel her flying all over the place. So he does get that. It's very nice.
Yeah, and Kirby's making his way up the last tower climb here.
Yeah, this is the big climb that you basically need the Pokio for this to get up with any speed at all. So he does capture the Pokio here, and is going to be using the beak to climb up the wall really, really quickly. See if Tones can get the fast Topper fight. He does cancel. He does get the fast cycle there. But he does get hit by the spin move. Can he do it again? Yes. Nope. I thought that was the one. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, if you angle the camera like so it looks down on Mario, it's easier to tell which hat he is in.
But here's Kerbis on the Mecha Brutal fight. Now you are supposed to, quote unquote, use the Pokio to knock this guy down and climb up on top of him, but Kerbis says, I ain't gonna do that. Gets up without the bird, using the birdless strat, as it were, and manages to stay on top. Now again, this boss is supposed to fling you off, and you're supposed to climb back up multiple times, but Kerbis says, I don't want none of that. Just stays on top as best he can. Does he make it? Yes, he does. Yep. No muss, no fuss. He's gonna stay on top here, hit these brutals, and get it over with pretty quickly, actually.
Yeah, and in this phase you can't hit any brutal. The entire mecha is invincible, not just have legs.
Yeah, it does have invulnerability periods, but you can actually destroy all of them and never capture a Pokio in this fight one time. So Kerbis is going to get that done super fast. That was very, very nicely done. And Tone's going to be making his climb to reach the Mecha Brutal as well.
Gonna be tough for Tones to make it back.
He basically has to get a very clean birdless fight without falling off in order to match Kerbis here, because they are coming up on the final stage in the game right here, and there's not a lot of room to make up some time, so this is Tones' chance to keep himself in the race, you know, even have a hope. So he does go for the birdless. Makes it on top of the leg. Oh, and he falls. He has to go for the bird now. Oh, he stomps on it. That's really unfortunate. So he has to climb again. He makes it this time. All right. A little bit of lost time there. But if he's able to stay on top, he'll be in not horrible shape. Yeah. And Kerbis is finishing up his Bowser's Kingdom, moving on to the moon itself.
If Tones can get the last 2 hits here.
Mm-hmm. Just to get on that one last time and knock Harriet out of her glass cage there. 1 ground pound is all it takes. There he goes. All right. So now that Kerbis is on the moon, he's subject to moon gravity, which is less intense than Earth's gravity in this game. You can jump a lot higher, you're a lot floatier on the moon here. And so it is possible to abuse this using a Sphinx here on the moon and avoid a cave, which saves several minutes.
Yeah, just 4 to 5.
Mm-hmm. Generally referred to as moon skip or cave skip. I'm gonna grab this flower to jump over the chasm here and head onto the Sphinx and perform the moon skip here. He gets the ground pound, goes his hat. And does he get the wall kick? He does. He gets it first try. Very nicely done. So he's going to move right along to the wedding chapel and try to thwart Bowser's attempt to marry Princess Peach. There's Tones finishing up completing his Odyssey in Bowser's Kingdom, moving on to the moon. But Kerbis is going to be heading straight along into the final Bowser fight, which is more or less the same as the Cloud fight. He has one more phase, which is unskippable. He is invulnerable, but it's pretty much the same. He does swipe at you more here. You can jump over his tail like that, but pretty similar, pretty standard. Oh, he manages to nab the hat before it falls off. That's very, very slick there by Kerbis. And Tones is going to be heading to the Sphinx as well to try to perform the moon skip. Kerbis is just about done with this boss fight. He has one more cycle to go through. He'll be heading to the final escape sequence. Bowser's many, many hats.
Alright, let's see. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No problem.
And Tones is able to get the moon skip first try as well. Very nice. But Kerbis is looking to close out the game. Oh, he tries to skip the cutscene a little bit too early. A little too overeager there. He's heading down to initiate the escape sequence, for which you actually capture and play as Bowser. So you're running around as Bowser, trying to escape as fast as possible and get to the end. And as soon as he shoots out of the final electrical wire here, that's the end of the game. Tones just starting his Bowser fight, a little bit behind, but not losing heart here, keeping the pace. Now we're coming up on a 2D Bowser section for Kerbis. There is a slight skip here, which saves about 2 seconds, I believe. That for the punishment for which is death, you have to start over the Bowser section. Kerbis says, "No, I ain't about to go for that," and just destroys the block that allows you to do it. He isn't about to risk it.
Good man.
I'm sure Spike Vegeta would have some words.
Well, he did go for it last night, so...
Spike goes for it every single time. He is a man with no fear. But Kerbis is not about to throw his lead away, potentially. He just plays it super safe.
Yeah.
Pretty wise.
No reason to rush.
So now the goal is to destroy these 4 pillars around the platforms, and then move to the center, destroy that, and then should be GG. Tones is able to get the fast cycle as well, finishing up Bowser. There he goes. Now he's going to start the escape sequence as well on Honeyloon Ridge. Kerbis is going to try to destroy this with his fireballs, and he does. So he doesn't actually have to go destroy that pillar, he can shoot at it with his fireballs. He's going to be looking to finish this off. Timing will end as soon as he shoots out of the electrical wire. This is not a PB for him, but I would say this is not a bad run.
No, it's very good.
Yep.
Kerbis finishing with an official SRL time of 1:10:52.
Very, very nice.
GG.
Let's see if Tones will go for the 2D skip here. Alright. We're going to bring Kerbis in for an interview here in a sec. No, Tones does not do the 2D skip. He is also a wise man.
Yeah. Hello, Kerbis.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey guys.
Very, very nice run. How you feeling right now?
Oh, I feel great. That was I really can't ask for a much better run than that in a race setting. I was 58 seconds off my PB, so.
Yeah, it looked like you were you were having some problems there, like around the Wooded Kingdom, hitting some bongs and.
Yeah, I would say the Wooded Kingdom was pretty sloppy, but other than that, I didn't really make any big mistakes, I guess.
Yeah, no, I was really impressed. I was I was almost looking forward to the drama of oh, he's gonna bonk some more, he's gonna, you know. But no, it was very, very clean from your Metro on. I was really, really impressed. Well done, man.
Yeah, well, I knew I had to play pretty well because Tones has a decent time, not too far off of me, and I know he can definitely beat his BB still by a good chunk. So I knew it would be close. So just tried to do as much as I could to stay ahead. I think he fell in Metro, in Town Hall.
He did fall in the Town Hall. Yeah, it was pretty dead on between you two, pretty back and forth up until that fall. At which point, I think that was.
If it weren't for that, it would have been a really close race.
I still think it was not too bad, given, you know, the slightly shaky early game out of both runners.
Yeah.
Tones finishes with a official SRL time of 1:13:06.
That is unfortunately not a PB for him, but still, you know, both runners managing to get within, you know, a minute or so of their PBs. That is pretty darn good, if I do say so. GG, everybody.
Sup, Tones?
Hello.
Hey, Tones, how you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, it was just like, you know, sloppy movement everywhere, but I was still like, what, 30 seconds off my PB? Easy. I am very happy with that. And GG to Kerbis, dude. You freaking nailed like everything. Like, I died in, like, you know, we were like pretty close, maybe plus or minus 20 seconds going into Dark Metro, and I died in Town Hall, and I was like, all right, I lost the race. This is over. And then I was like, maybe there's a slight chance you might make a big mistake, but you didn't. You just blew through the whole run. And even if I didn't die, even if I played perfectly, you still beat my sum of best. So,
oh wow,
no way I was gonna beat that run.
In my last race, you were kind of talking crap in the chat that I didn't go for the jump at the top of Dark Metro, top of Town Hall, so I had to go for it in this run just for you.
And you got it.
And I got it.
Yeah, look at that. Wow, it's almost like if you practice something, you're probably not going to miss it.
I do have a question for you, Tones. So I noticed, so first of all, you went for the Sphinx clip and got it on the first try. That was seriously impressive. I can tell you were practicing that a lot. That was very well done.
Oh yeah, I'm like, a lot of people know me as a guy that is way too consistent at Sphinx clip for my own good. It's really not necessary for my skill level, honestly. But I did spend a lot of time creating a good setup that really works for me, and I've shared it with other runners, and other runners seem to be pretty receptive to the setup. So if you have any questions about it, if you're trying to learn it yourself, go ahead and like get in the Discord and say in the at any % channel or whatever. And I have like videos of the setup. It's not that difficult, really.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone would really appreciate that. So thank you for that. That was, I mean, again, I was impressed you got it first try. Just blew me away. But so I did notice though, because you went to the Sphinx room and you collected all those coins, you were actually short coming out of Metro earlier. And so I bet your plan was to have the Sphinx coins and go into snow, but you're actually a little short. Were you expecting that? Like, do you normally plan for, if I'm sure I'll go to Seaside? I wonder if I was wondering if that had thrown you off a little bit.
No, I definitely got thrown off by not having enough coins, but I knew I had just enough, so it wasn't going to be a huge issue. I can easily get the 9 coins I got in the blowy Typhoon Man cavern. So it really wasn't too bad. I know if I ever go for the Sphinx, I'm never going to be resetting a run over Snow Kingdom because I don't have enough coins, if that makes sense. So I definitely dug my own grave, not going for the coins, as many coins as I should have in Sphinx. I was just kind of popping off that I got the Sphinx clip first try so much that I was just like, let me get out of here, dude. I gotta get a gold split sand real quick.
Totally understand. I can't fault you at all for that. That's that's a little hypey. But yeah, I was just one of those like, oh no, please don't go to shop. You don't have enough coins. But yeah, I mean, aside from that fall in City Hall, that was a pretty clean run for me. That was seriously impressive. I know you were a little bit off of Kerbis this time here, but it was pretty close to your PB, and I can you have a lot of room for improvement as well. So I bet you're pretty proud of what you've done here today. So congrats, man. You deserve all of it.
Pretty good, thanks, man. Thanks for the commentary. I didn't really, I'm gonna go back and watch it, but I'm sure you guys did great.
Oh, I was talking so much trash.
Oh, really? I can't believe it.
Oh. We said words.
Oh, actually, I was listening to the commentary as I was racing, and I just wanted to clarify one thing that you guys kind of seemed surprised at. When I was going for the moon on the salt pile and lunch, I captured that Podobo before I grabbed the moon, and that was actually intentional, because if you capture it and then let go, it won't it stays there. It won't loop back around to the other side. So depending on where you're at in the cycle, it actually is faster to capture it before you get the moon and then pop back out and grab the moon.
Your strats are too advanced for me, man. I can't comprehend.
Yeah, I'd also like to clarify something. Like when I died in Town Hall, that's actually a death manipulation. It set up the RNG in the boss fight so that I can get a 2-cycle.
Can we get a cap in the chat, please? All right. Thanks, guys, for coming in. GG to everybody.
I just want to ask one thing.
Yes, of course.
So the language.
Oh yeah. All right. So I only have a 112. I don't think language matters to me too much. But when I had a 118 or so, one of my friends came in the chat and he's like, "Hey, why aren't you running in Italian?" And I was like, "That's a really good point." So now I just ran in Italian.
The man's got a point.
Yeah, I can't argue with that logic. I mean, if you run in Mario's native language, it feels a little bit more comfortable, so he's less likely to.
It's the way to do it.
Mistakes.
Again, advanced top tier strats. Strats. Well, thanks again, guys. I don't think I have any more questions.
Nope, you covered it.
Yeah. GG, everybody.
GG.
Cool. Thanks for commentating. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thanks for being a great runner. Take care, everybody. All right, I think that does it for the tournament for tonight, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
On this channel. I'm sorry. I spoke too soon. On this channel, there is an ongoing match, maybe just finished, on Speed Gaming, the main channel, between Minato Purge and Baga Jr. Starting up at 8, or whenever the setup is finally finished on Speed Gaming, the main channel, will be a race between Mashi and Spike Vegeta. So I'm sure that'll be well trafficked. You guys should head over there and be sure to follow the speed gaming channels, follow our racers. Here they are. And yeah, thanks guys for tuning in. It was a great race. I'm excited to have been here with you all. Kipo.
Yeah, thanks for watching.